Hey guys, what's up? My name is Sean Result and welcome to my Samsung DeX Gaming Horror series. So in the previous video, let me just fix this first. So in the previous video, hopefully the sound's working, you just see. So in the previous video, we actually played the Letter horror visual novel and I really liked this game. It was so fun and so scary. And basically where we left off was around here. A good place. For help with the words catching in my throat. Even my feet won't move. Completely paralyzed out of terror. Be brave and look up. Oh, so I looked up and look up. I need to face it. Whatever these feet belong to, I need to face it. And if I'm going to die, if they're going to kill me, at least I'll know what my. So basically, we left off where I died, kind of, or lost. And yeah, basically the idea is just me to see if the game works in Samsung DeX with a keyboard and mouse or with a game controller, and this game does work. So yeah, currently my controller is flat, so I'm gonna use the mouse this time. Let's just see where we left off and then continue there. It's like a cold comfort. So with a deep breath, I summon every ounce of courage and I have left in me and shift my gaze upwards. Basically, here's around where we left off. He slowly approaches me as I range the door. And there I lost. So let's continue playing the game now. The game is ready to open and busy uploading the first part of the video now as well. Let me show you. As you can see, the first part is busy uploading. Let's go ahead and make the second part. It's definitely going to be fun. This was really a good game so far. I'm gonna say continue. Let's see. He slowly approaches me as I range the doorknob violently back and forth. So how's that? Come on. Okay, where is it? Fucking push. Okay, let's try that again. I can do it. Like violently tap here. Check this out. Okay, the door finally swings open and I couldn't have been happier. Okay. Wasting no time, I leap out the door and don't look back. Sorry. My feet pound against the floor in rhythm with the loud, fast beating of my heart. By the time I run past the hallway and find myself stopped the ground staircase, my chest feels so tight like it's going to burst, but that's nothing compared to the feeling of hope the sight of the exit gives me. Racing down the stairs, I briefly laugh escapes me and my shoe slips and I find myself falling until my back hits the ground and pain racks my body. No, get the fuck away! My head grows fuzzy and my vision dims as I fight to stay conscious. No man, leave me alone.
Go away.
The last thing I see are those feet before all I know is darkness. I'm gonna miss Ashton's thing. It's that letter again. So now what? I'm assuming I kind of stopped at a bad scene. So I kind of think the visual novel is starting now, actually. As far as I can understand. She reminds me of a character from Toradora. Hopefully you guys can hear. I hope you guys can hear this. But just all chapters. No. A buzz breaks the silence. I start to rouse, pull the consciousness against my own will. I've never felt this tired before. I just want to sleep, but the insistent buzzing, poking and prodding isn't letting me. My old mattress may not be the comfiest of places, but that doesn't make me any more eager to wake up.
5 more minutes, Becca.
I swat away at what is nudging persistently at my side. Can I just get a few extra minutes of sleep today? I promise I'll work hard once I'm up. A hand lightly taps my cheek and something cold suddenly being pressed at the back of my head. The icy sensation slowly spreads throughout the area, giving me an uncomfortable feeling. The fog immediately lifts from my mind the moment I recognize the voice and my eyes snap open. There, looking down at me, is Rose. Another woman loiters beside her, but my attention is too focused on my co-agent to even ask why there's someone else with her. Rose's posture just screams worry. Although she's keeping a straight face, or trying at least, I can't help but feel bad for making her fret. A wave of dizziness washes over me as soon as I try to get up, forcing me to lie back down again. Luckily, the feeling subsides after a few seconds, until only a mild throbbing somewhere at the back of my head remains. With a little assistance from Rose, I push myself upright. She hands me an ice pack and gestures for me to press it where I suspect a small bump has already formed, if the light ache in the area indicates anything.
Alright, Isabella, where are we?
The Ermengarde mansion. Ow, my head.
And the date today?
October 21st?
Last one. Can you count to 15 in reverse order?
15, 14, 13, 12, no, that's wrong. Why are we doing this?
She's just checking if your injury is in any way serious.
This time I curiously regard the woman standing beside Rose. It's impossible to overlook her, what with the way she towers over us. And yet I thought Rose is already tall. Who is she anyway? One of the remaining cleaning crews. But with how primly dressed she is, I don't think anyone would want to clean in a suit. An expensive suit at all that. The gloves alone must have already cost a fortune. Her eyes slowly shift between me and Rose, considering us with an almost unreadable expression, before finally fixing a sharp gaze on me. I can't help but fold my arms protectively over myself as she does so. She might be far from cleaning crew, but she certainly looks like our supervisors during evaluation.
Just do it, please.
I eyed them both warily, but recite everything as she asked. Can't I press something else? Rose releases a breath of relief once I'm done.
You scared me for a moment there. I was about to call for an ambulance. Are you alright?
Exasperation soon replaces the dull ache. The memory is a little fuzzy, but the attic and...
There was someone, Rose. In the attic.
Someone? You mean a client? Oh, that's unlikely. It's probably just one of the cleaning crews. The boss sent a few of them back this morning for some last minute...
No, not any of those. They're, I'm not actually sure. Wait, didn't I call you? You said you were in the attic when you answered. That's why I went there in the first place.
Both Rose and the lady look at me like I've just grown another head. Did I say something weird? Rose quickly casts an apologetic smile at the woman before the awkward silence stretches on further. It's her saleswoman smile, the same one she taught me back when I was still a trainee. I should show this to troublesome clients or just to avoid trouble in general, she advised. It's also the same one she gives me when I've done something particularly absurd that may cause us to lose a potential sale. Her eyes are serious when she turns back to me. She takes both my shoulders, gently squeezes it, and with as much patience as she can muster.
As much as I'd love to have gotten at least a heads up of your arrival, I didn't really get a call from you. You know, signal here is absolutely horrendous. I was in the garden earlier and couldn't even make a single call. Isabella, I'm going to ask again. Are you really alright? What happened?
I don't know. It's all a bit blurry. I remember I was looking for you, but you were in the attic. And there's... whoever it is. Then I must have tripped on a rug or something on the way down. Oh no. Do you think someone came in while you were out? You left the main door open. We are so going to get into big trouble if something gets stolen, Rose.
Perhaps it is a concussion.
Are you sure you feel fine? We could still call for an ambulance. I could cover for you.
No, I'm fine. I'm okay, Rose. I can work.
Wait, hold your horses, Rose. I can't just miss an important cell because of a minor bump in my head. An extremely minor bump. I've had worse when I was a kid. This is nothing.
Besides, if I leave, you'll have to shoulder everything in the open house.
I need
alone.
my remote. I can't play with the mouse. Not fun. But there's also the part where I might lose that bonus B or C promised. That thing is moving again. This thing. But that's completely beside the point. Rose gives me a skeptical look when I return the cold compress to her and push myself off the floor. I have to use the staircase's railings to steady myself, but otherwise I feel fine.
See? I'm
I'm gonna
A-okay.
unplug the controller now. It doesn't have to charge anymore. But I want to play actually with the controller. Just makes things easier for me. I might as well put it on charge here actually. Let's just check the wireless headset because it might be almost flat also. Okay, no, it doesn't work anymore. Can't I use it while it's on charge? Can't I? Okay, I can. The two of them exchange worried glance and Rose assumes complete. Let me just put my pants right. Okay. The two of them exchange a worried glance and Rose assumes a contemplative look. I bite my lower lip in anticipation. If she says no,
Why you in?
a smile threatens to slip out from me.
If I see that you aren't feeling well, I'm taking you personally to the nearest clinic to have you checked. Clear?
Clear as day, ma'am. Thanks, Rose.
You insisted. But remember what I said. First sign of you looking not okay, and we're off. No questions asked.
It's just a small bump. Don't worry.
You shouldn't downplay these kinds of things.
Sorry?
It could be a serious injury for all we know.
Suddenly, a small cough sounds against the walls of the foyer, interrupting our banter. The woman is looking expectantly at the two of us, her stare making me shrink back a little on myself. She isn't really intimidating. Well, she is, but not in a scary negative way. Far from it. Actually, her demeanor simply commands an air of sophistication and respect. In a different world, a younger me would have probably wished to be like her. At our lack of response, she coughs again, lifting a well-trimmed eyebrow at me in question. Words get caught in my throat at the sight of it, and Rose, as usual, is swift to catch my
My
blunders.
sincerest apologies, Mrs.
Miss McCulloch. Marianne McCulloch.
McCulloch. Marianne McCulloch. Lol. Xmail.com. She hands Rose her business card. The words interior designer catch my eyes before my partner flips it over. Oh, probably someone interested in the mansion for its 17th century influences then. I won't hold it against her though. Despite the hearsays and remaining uninhabited for years, the mansion's original fittings and furniture have been kept completely intact and restored to pristine condition. I suppose some people find that trip to the past feeling appealing. After all, with what it offers, this place could also be a haven for people looking to live somewhere with the classic historical
Miss
charm.
McCullough, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We're just ironing out a few things, but we'll be starting the tour soon enough. In the meantime, we've prepared some refreshments for you in the parlor while you're waiting. If you could please.
Thanks. There's no need for it though. I just dropped by for a quick survey of the place. I thought I should check the estate before I meet with the homeowners.
Rose's confusion is impossible to miss when she glances at me, and I return it with an equally perplexed look. And against my better judgment, I blurt out the first question that comes to mind.
I'm sorry. Homeowners?
I should have kept my mouth shut. A flash of irritation crosses her face, but it instantly disappears under a mask of professional detachment.
Yes. Hannah Wright? I I was hired by her to handle the interior design for their newly bought home. This is the Ermengarde mansion, right?
It is.
Possibly trying to find the right words to fix the awkward situation without offending someone. We'll check with our supervisor. I don't know. Those few moments have given me enough time to clear my head of any nervousness or confusion clouding it.
It is, ma'am, but we weren't aware the mansion has already been sold.
What do you mean?
I almost flinched when she turns her gaze on me, but I stand my ground. Besides, it isn't like I haven't dealt with awkward situations like this before. I may screw up at times, but that doesn't mean I haven't learned a thing or two in the 5 years I've worked in the business.
The mansion is indeed for sale, ma'am. Today's the open house, in fact. However, we haven't heard anything from the higher-ups that a deal has already been closed for this particular property. If you'd like, my co-agent and me can check with them right now.
She nods, seemingly in deep thought after I've finished. She appears to be a reasonable person anyway. Given the proper explanation, she'd surely understand.
I thought something looked odd when I arrived here. Excuse me, I think I need to make a call to my secretary. Thank you for your assistance, Miss Santos.
With a slight wave of her hand, she leaves us. That seems to be the end of it. Both Rose and I breathe a sigh of relief. Disaster averted. I also don't miss the thumbs up she gives me for doing a good job, and I can't help but swell with pride. Still, I've already prepared myself to dial the number to our Lux Pawn office and check even if she didn't ask for it. I'll be very frustrated if, for some reason, something has already been decided without my or Rose's knowledge. That's a whole new level of unfair. We've been working hard on this. Moments later, Miss McCulloch returns, looking a little frustrated but with an apology clear on her face. I feel a bit sorry for her having to go through all this trouble.
There seems to have been a little misunderstanding with my client. If you'll allow it, I'd like to stay and wait for them here. I was informed they'll be dropping by for the open house today. I figured it'd be a waste to just leave after that long drive. I might as well meet him here.
Certainly. You could stay at the parlor in the meantime, ma'am. I'm sure it won't be long before our guests arrive. And, Isabella, I left a few documents in my car. You know where I keep those. Can you please get it for me?
Rose takes a glance at her wristwatch before tossing me a set of keys.
And hurry! We've still got a few minutes to double check those papers.
Okay, got it.
The two of them disappear behind the parlor's doors. Their departure brings with it a stillness to keep me company, neither welcoming nor comforting. Alone like this, it's impossible to think of what really happened. I wish the memory isn't as elusive as it normally is. Then again, Rose already said she didn't receive any call from me. Was it just paranoia? A temporary lapse after having heard all those tales about this place? Probably. I want to think of it as such. Better to think of it as such so I can work in peace. Except for a small part of my mind begs to differ. And I am going to be completely honest with myself. I want nothing more than to leave this place as soon as possible. I don't know what's in this house, and I don't want to know. The keys Rose have just handed me dig into my palm. Its jagged edges creating shallow ridges on my skin from how hard I'm clutching it. It's a reminder of what I still need to do and why I've taken this job in the first place. Hugging my blazer closer to my body, I exit the house to get what Rose has asked of me. Just a few hours, Isabella. Sell the house, get the money. A flock of people have already gathered in the mansion front of yard by the time we officially open the doors. I'm not sure whether I should feel baffled or undressed, standing in their presence, men and women of wealth and status, all dressed to the nines in fancy suits and lovely dresses of varying colors, compose the medium-sized crowd. Their neck, arms and fingers are ardent with silver and gold, glinting in the afternoon sun. Some even have ridiculously fancy feathered hats on their heads. I really hope there aren't any magpies living nearby like in the stories. Those birds will have a field day in this. They are murmuring among themselves, looking at the East Stage facade, appraising, with some arguing about whose mansion has the superior architecture. But most of it stops as Rose calls for their attention. They don't look too pleased for being ordered around. But what can they do about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We'll be taking a tour of the mansion in 2 groups. Please make sure you filled up our sign-in forms before joining a specific group.
Those who want to look around the first floor, please follow my partner. I'll be guiding the ones who wish to see the ground floor.
Hearing this, a few men wonder to me. There are mostly old women, old ladies who seem daunted at the idea of climbing all those stairs. Miss McCullough also joins our group, but what really catches my eye is the elegantly dressed pair she approaches.
It's so nice to finally meet you! When Chief Inspector Lee mentioned that a famous interior designer is in town, I knew I had to get you.
Your confidence in my skills is very flattering, ma'am.
I'm sure you won't disappoint,
Marianne.
Oh, you know each other?
Marianne McCullough.
Not at all, ma'am.
You mentioned something about a Marianne on our way here, darling?
Oh, yes, I think I did.
Ah, there must be the clients she was talking about. I might have seen their faces somewhere before, some magazine or television, I can't quite remember. But then again, most of our guests have likely ended up on news one way or another. I won't be surprised if these two already have. For people who are popular though, they are dressed as loudly as the others. In their simplicity, the couple stands out. The woman in particular is stunning enough to turn the heads of most people in my group, especially the men with wandering eyes. The guy standing beside her doesn't seem to mind though, and if I'm going to be a bit bolder with my assumptions, I'd say he's basking in their attention. Both of them, in fact. I'd think they are brother and sister if it wasn't for the public display of affection. The matching rings on their fingers just cement the fact that they are indeed a couple. My only sunshine. Whatever. Couple or not, what's important is we get this deal closed before the current owners can even think of cancelling the listing. I just hope one of the people in my or Rose's group is brave and generous enough to buy this mansion. And so, with papers in hand, I lead the way. I don't know why I'm doing the voice, I just kind of felt like doing a voice. When they aren't whispering among themselves or going ooh and ah over one thing or another, they ask questions. From how the restoration process went, to the history of the place, I answer them all, more than happy to talk about the art and pieces and architecture, mostly. However, I'm careful not to mention anything about the urban legend. Not a good material for sales talk, even if the entire population of Luxburn knows about it.
Some of the furnishings here are actually the 17th century originals, all of which have undergone a painstaking restoration process just to return its original beauty. Even the glass thing, colorful ones. Oh, I don't know, but you get the idea, I hope. Especially that one, ma'am. It is said to be a gift commissioned by the fiancé of Lady Charlotte Ermengarde. The mansion's current owners have specifically requested that the restoration crew take great care in handling it. It's a priceless work of art and the most distinctive feature of the mansion.
By the time I've stopped talking, her attention is already elsewhere.
Isn't this place wonderful,
Wow.
darling? I told you it's not a total waste of your time.
I don't know. Isn't it a bit too small? We might have to break a wall down to have more room.
Well, I think it is just right. Don't you think so, Marianne?
It is splendid, ma'am. But isn't it a little too early to make plans when no deal has been signed yet?
Never mind that. It isn't going to be a problem. We've got a wonderful legal team to handle everything. Start taking notes, though. I think I've got a few things I want changed before we move in.
The rest of their conversation gets lost in the chatter of our companions. I don't want to make any assumptions yet, but their sheer interest is enough to give me some semblance of hope. Oh please, please let these guys be the one. Eventually our group reaches the kitchen. Oh, that's a nice kitchen. Much like the rest of the house, a great deal of effort has been put in retaining the room's classical appeal. The open hearth at the end of the room in particular looks amazing, like the ones I've seen in fairy tale books. And mad props to the cleaning crew. Seriously, after overheating hundreds of their complaints about the soot and tar staining in the bricks, and how much of a pain in the ass cleaning the space this'll be. They still managed to pull this off. I can't keep talking like this. Or make it look presentable at least.
The highlight of the room, however, is what's underneath this hatch here.
Oh, don't say anything yet. An underground wine cellar.
This is the first time the guy in grey speaks up. Mister, look right. My memory supplies from the forms they signed earlier. His sudden attentiveness catches me off guard since the start of the tour. Only his wife has shown any form of genuine interest in this place. This time something lights up his eyes at the mention of the undercroft. Was so interested about the basement, I really don't understand rich people sometimes. Right now he just gives me the impression of a child who has seen what he absolutely wants for Christmas. I've always found it cute whenever I see children act that way. My younger siblings especially. When a grown man, it's almost funny.
Yes, sir. It could house around 7,000 to 11,000 bottles of wine.
Truly. And the room, how was it built?
The bricks that were used to build the cellar had been carefully picked for the purpose of maintaining and preserving a constant temperature and humidity in the room. It's a good place to keep your private collection in if you have one, sir.
It keeps the corks in good condition.
Oh, love. Didn't you say before that you wanted to make your own personal vineyard? Perhaps you could start one here.
You know we're going to need space for that, darling.
If it's space you're worried about, sir, the Ermengarde mansion sits on a 46-acre lot. There's plenty of room for it. We were told that the original owners had a horse stable built here before, too.
Sorry? There's a contemplative expression on Mr. Wright's face, but he doesn't say anything further. His wife, however, seems really pleased that he started to show interest, if only a little. There's a smile to myself. I may not completely understand how these people's minds work, but I sure as hell know how to spot a buyer with sincere interest. Score! I can't wait to tell Rose! The rest of the tour goes by without a hitch. After more than half an hour, we're able to cover almost every room in the ground floor and are heading to the parlor. Sorry? Funny, the first time BRC had us survey the property, I kept complaining to Rose how big it is. Now I can't even bring myself to care, no matter how much my feet hurt. Maybe this is just my excitement over a possible sale. When we reach the parlor, however, an odd feeling washes over me. It starts off as small goosebumps on my skin, a feeling of being watched intently. Am I being watched? I've got goosebumps now also. Whispers in my ear and shadows dancing lurking in the corner of my vision. Got moose goosebumps now. Dark silhouettes that are gone when I turn to look. A chill settles down my spine, making me feel sick, and I start to break out in cold sweat. I can't do this. I need to sit down for a moment. The old lady in the group have been requesting for a break anyway. If I can just...
Excuse me, everyone? We will be taking a 15-minute rest here before we visit the first floor. In the meantime, please help yourselves to the refreshments and snacks we've prepared. If anyone has any questions, feel free to approach me. I'd be happy to help you.
I let them sit there while I retreat to a quiet corner to recover. It's not what you think. Don't think about it. It's not what you think. I've probably just caught Becca's call. Don't think about it. I'm left alone for a good while, the same words spilling out of my lips in silent prayer, until a hand taps my shoulder.
Hello, you there?
Yes, ma'am?
Oh, look at you. Having to show a group around a mansion this big must be exhausting.
Wait a minute, don't the two people there look similar to the couple? Like that's Ma'am Wright and Mr. Wright. Doesn't that looks very much like them? Just saying, you know.
Not a problem, ma'am. I'm just doing my job.
What a hard worker. Anyway, Isabel, right?
Isabella, actually. But yes, what can I help you with, ma'am, right?
Please, just Hannah. Call me Hannah.
Hannah?
I just wanted to ask, how soon are we able to move in?
My brain completely stops. The sick feeling plaguing thinking me is suddenly gone, replaced by utter bewilderment. Is this a joke? She looks at me, expected me, as I struggle to come up with an answer.
Wait, ma'am, you see... But we haven't even negotiated a price yet, ma'am. We haven't even finished touring the rest of the mansion. A sale would be great and all, but...
She stops me from speaking any further and puts a hand on my shoulder. For a moment, with a tight smile, she looks as if she has tasted a particular sour lemon.
Oh, please, sweetie, don't insult me. Money is not a problem. And, just between you and me, this place is better off with us than with some old lady who'll probably just fill it up with cats.
I personally don't think there's anything wrong with having cats here, ma'am Hana. I'm sure there's more than enough space here if you want pets.
Perhaps I'm not feeling well, but really, what's wrong with cats? More importantly, why is she talking about moving in already?
Well, I'm more of a dog person. But you see, this is going to be a gift to my darling. It's going to be our anniversary soon, and it would be so wonderful if you could secure its purchase for us. Why, I can even offer something extra if you help us out with the paperwork.
We actually have a process for this, ma'am. I don't really think that would be necessary or appropriate.
And just what are you two lovely ladies talking about here? Leaving me and our lovely interior designer to talk here by ourselves. What would the people think, darling?
Oh, it's just small talk, love. I was asking if she could help me with the paperwork.
I try not to wince when her nails dig into my shoulder. I can't help but send an imploring look at Miss McCulloch, who only gives me an apologetic smile and shrug.
Yeah, I can give you a fact sheet and a form to fill out.
She wastes no time in taking the papers from my hand and shuffles through the bunch. Oh man, Rose is going to be so angry at me for letting her do that.
Wonderful. And Marianne, I'd really love to talk to you about those changes. You took some notes earlier, yes?
I did, Mom. But I really hope that this time...
Excellent. Hopefully you can help us out too, Isabel.
Isabella.
Right. It's a lovely name, Isabel.
It's Isabella.
Yes, that's great. We'll be more than happy to put in a good word to your superiors too, and... What's this?
Look of confusion and disgust appears on her face. Turning to her husband and merely shrugs. Oh, it's the paper that says, help me.
That's, an interesting work of art. Not to my taste, though. I'm sorry.
Darling, Buttercup, art is a complete overstatement for this garbage. It looks like a cheap prop from a D-list horror film.
Shush, love. Let the girl do what she pleases with, what do they call this? Oh, forget about it. At the very least, it's not as dreadful as the one art exhibit I was forced to attend last month. You should have seen it, Marianne. Even you would have been appalled. But I'm sure you'll know what to do with our walls once we get started.
I highly doubt it is as bad as you say, Mom. Nevertheless, you can be assured that my team will only pick whatever suits your taste. Nothing of this chain letter sort, of course. It has to always work with a palette.
I'm quite sure chain letters these days don't come in this form.
It's my turn to be puzzled. What do you mean, Rose? And I double-checked everything. Are those papers I handed not enough? I want to ask what I did wrong. I don't want to mess this up. But with the way Ma'am Hannah's leading a conversation, I'm afraid that's exactly what will happen if I don't interrupt
That's good
her.
to hear. See, darling, isn't she an absolute delight to work with? I can't wait to see how this place will look when she's done with it.
Oh, you don't have to tell me that, Buttercup.
A smile's back on her face when she turns to me and hands me a strange piece of paper.
I would still put it away if I were you, though. Otherwise, people might get the wrong impression. Anyway, as I was saying...
I didn't hear the rest of what she says after that. I can only stare down at the paper at the letter in my hands. Size crinkle in my grip and my breathing grows labored. Dread quickly fills my mind.
Isabella? Are you alright?
It's a paper that says help me or else.
You're looking pale.
I didn't even notice when Rose's group joined us in the parlor. I want nothing more than to say that no, I'm not alright. I want to leave this place because I remember everything as clear as day. This letter and the woman in the attic. It's real.
The letter. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Careless. I've been so careless. How do I even tell them that without looking like I've gone mad? Show it to Rose. Don't show. I'm gonna show the letter to Rose. It blurted out before I could think twice about what I'm going to say.
Rose, we need to get out of here. This place is cursed.
Show her the letter. Rose cast a nervous glance at the people in the room. Most are still engaged in a conversation with their peers, but those curious enough to turn their heads in our group's direction have been giving a trademark saleswoman smile. A tight expression is on her face when she pulls me aside.
Isabella, we've already had a conversation about this weeks ago. Those are just stories.
And I'm telling you that it's not. I saw something in there. It's not human at all. I thought it was just nothing, but isn't this letter proof enough?
She gently reaches out to pluck the paper off my hand. Without even taking a glance at it, she folds it up back
Look,
neatly.
I'm really getting worried about you. I know you want to see this open house through, but your condition is more important. Give me a few minutes to wrap things up here, and I'll drive you to the nearest hospital.
No! You don't understand! There isn't a condition, Rose. No concussion at all. I'm fine. But this place isn't, and you're being stubborn about it.
Before Rose could open her mouth for a retort, a hand lands on both our shoulders, pulling the two of us distance closer.
Now, ladies, what seems to be the problem here?
Nothing, sir. I just had to clarify a few things with my colleague.
Well, it certainly seems intense. A smile fits the two of you better, in my opinion. Especially darling little Lily here.
Gives my shoulder a gentle squeeze, while an indestructible smile spreads across his face.
It's Isabella, sir.
Of course. But my point still stands. And with two beautiful ladies here, I'm sure.
And I'm sure little Lily here would certainly appreciate it if you remove your pretty hands from her, darling.
The pressure on my shoulder lifts as soon as those words leave his wife's lips, while the scowl on her face is like a splash of cold water on me. It is also impossible to miss the pleased frown on Miss McCullough's face. The realization that we might lose the sale because of my outburst instantly dawns on me. Rose will be beyond pissed.
I think I need to step out for a while. I'll be back.
Bowing my head, I mutter a quick apology and gather my stuff to make a quick exit. It doesn't matter if this place is haunted or not. I've caused trouble and Rose can be quite unforgiving of behavior like this. I'm almost at the door when she catches up to me.
Isabella, wait!
The apprehension must have been quite obvious on my face because her expression instantly shifts to something gentler. Eyes softer, a fond smile spreading on her lips.
Hey, I'm not angry.
I know. I'm sorry I ruined this for you.
Come on, you didn't ruin anything. It's not like we haven't ran into any problems before. If we don't get a deal today, we can always try on a different day. And look.
She hesitates, completely trailing off before shifting her gaze down to her hands. A small gesture to stall. Her fingers are fiddling with a piece of folded paper. It's that stupid letter again. My hands stiffen when she gives it back, but I take it. It nevertheless more as an automatic response than any desire to take it back. I'll throw it away if I can, but I have this nagging feeling that one way or another it'll find its way back to me regardless of what I do about it.
Rose, this is... You have to let them know about...
I know you want us to get this sale so badly. And we've made a lot of plans on how to go about this. I mean, who wouldn't? This is the first... I've sold plenty of houses before, but nothing like what we have here. It's a beautiful house. I'd love to get one of my own if I ever win the lottery, but I think... Look, here's the thing, Isabella. If we are going to do this, work on something, I don't know, this big, I need you in top shape. And the way you are now...
What? Wait. No, still work. I just need to get myself together.
That's what you said earlier. I let it go because I thought, hey, it's your own body and you should know more than anyone how you feel. But after this, I really think you should take a break.
You're kicking me out?
No, I'm not. Look, all I'm asking is for you to take a seat somewhere I can see you, and let me handle this for now. You're clearly not yourself, and I honestly could use some time not worrying when you'll fall over or not. The day's not even over, and I'm already feeling the stress. Please, humor me just this once.
She claps her hand together in front of me, eyes bleeding for understanding, and I do understand, to some extent. That doesn't mean I'll feel any less awful, whether at myself at the unlucky turn the situation has taken or for her. I don't really know.
I promise I'll give you a full report of what happens after. I'll even let you take the lead tomorrow.
I'm very hungry right now, I want food.
Fine. Okay.
I'll step aside for now.
You're upset.
A little, yeah, obviously.
If it's any consolation, I won't tell the boss about today. You know how he is.
It's now currently 4 o'clock in the morning.
Please don't. I don't want to repeat
checked
the
it.
lecture I got during my first assignment.
How far is this video? It's taking a bit long to actually bring up a horror scene, which is fine, I will keep continuing. I'm just afraid my storage runs out because I only have a limited amount of storage. And is it recording? It is recording, so where's the video? I'm sure. Let me just check if everything is fine. There's on 3 gigabytes so far. And I have how much space? Okay. And how far is the video being uploaded? Busy processing. Okay, cool. Please don't. I don't want to. Okay.
He called me a noob, and I don't even know what that means.
At the memory, we both burst into helpless giggles, earning us strange looks from the guests smiling about the door. Talking and laughing like this, it's easy to forget any mishaps that happened. Little things you learn to appreciate, I guess.
So, are we good?
I'm still not okay about with it. Rose has a point. It's better for me to step out of this one for now.
I won't be able to help you anyways if I keep getting distracted like this. Maybe I'll just take a walk outside or something while I wait for you to wrap things up.
Please, just stay put. I insist.
I'm not an invalid, Rose.
You clearly have not seen how you looked earlier.
It's not that bad.
Color hasn't even returned to your cheeks yet. Just stay here, alright? Don't even think of going anywhere. Let me finish what I'm doing here, and then I'll take you back to Luxembourg myself to have that minor bump checked. Or at least wait for me to call someone who'll fetch you, okay?
She's gone before I can voice one word of complaint. Wasn't Ash going to come and pick me up? Left with nothing else to do, I found myself drifting back to the foyer. A few visitors linger in the area, some merely enjoying the afternoon sunlight streaming through the stained glass windows. Others can be seen admiring the priceless antiques decorating the room. One group of elderlies, gathered some ways across from me, is occupied in a friendly banter about which one costs more to buy. A little argument here, an occasional laughter and teasing there. A smile to myself. The conversation reminds me of what I've been missing these past few months. Rose is probably right. I do need a break. Maybe this afternoon's hangout will help. Speaking of, I should call Ash. It's a few hours early from what I've told him, but he did ask for a call once I'm done. Besides, I don't have a ride back he offered, so I might as well take it, or bribe him into giving me one. Not that he'll ever accept the latter. Personal convictions and all. Honestly, if there's something I find admirable in him, despite his tendency to annoy the hell out of me, it's that. Well, whatever way works, a free ride is still a free ride. There's Rose's offer too, but despite what she says, I know she'll be busy for the rest of the afternoon, especially without me assisting. I need a break. I need water. Bothering her for a favor as small as this is the last thing I want to do right now. A couple of minutes and a few prayers asking for a decent signal later. And the call finally connects and
Shit! I'm Ash from Deluxe City. Baggers, watch out. Can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool dude. Pretty fly for an Asian guy. Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City. Baggers, watch out. Can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool
What?
dude.
Shit,
Pretty
how
fly
loud
for
is
an
this thing
Asian
even?
guy. Sup, I'm Ash from
a sharp
Deluxe
ringing
City.
fills the entire
Baggers,
hall,
watch out.
disrupting the
Can't
pleasant
beat me.
quiet that
Looking
has
for
settled.
trouble?
Soon
Better
enough,
not lie.
heads begin to
I'm a
turn in
cool
search
dude.
of the
Pretty
source
fly for
mine
an
included.
Asian guy.
My eyes dart around the small crowd before zeroing in on a lone figure crouched behind the same group of old people checking out the decor moments ago. He is facing away from me, fumbling with something in his hands. I don't need to see his face to know whose back it is. Oh, I recognize that dumb Parker anywhere. Without bothering to end the call, I marched towards him. After what happened today, I'm really not in the mood to deal with this.
Of all the times to...
Ashton Frey!
What happens next is something I'll surely regret later for having not recorded. He jumps, lets out an undignifying yelp, followed by his phone slipping out of his grip. It bounces from one hand to the other in his poor attempt to catch it, before ultimately falling flat on the floor without a resounding clap. I kind of feel sorry for the phone and the floor, but it's not every day that you can catch someone like Ash off guard and get a reaction. Damn his stupid detective senses, and I'll take every ounce of victory I can get, no matter how small. Ha! An awkward pause pauses between us. I blink. I cough. He makes a face, and then it's too quick to motion. He ducks and retrieves his abused gadget while a grin threatens to break out from my lips. He doesn't meet my eyes when he straightens, but a flush has crept up his neck and cheeks. In another universe where we haven't yet, I can't speak. Where we haven't known each other for 5 years and suffering through his teasing isn't a day-to-day occurrence, chances are I'd find that adorable, enduring even. Unfortunately, this isn't kind of world. The way things are, I'm already content to see him out of his obnoxious calm and collected disposition.
Hello to you too, scaredy cat. I could stand to be greeted like a normal person, you know.
What? And miss that look on your face? No way. Oh man, I should have taken a picture.
I am so honored you find this funny. Is that how you treat your guests? I think I need to talk to your supervisor.
Talk to yourself. You aren't even a guest here. What are you doing here in the first place?
For a moment he looks like a cat that swallowed the canary. Suddenly checking every nook and cranny in his phone for any damage or scratches. It seems to be more interesting activity than explaining himself.
Ash,
I could be looking to buy a house.
a mansion?
Yeah, why not? Did you see the view outside? It doesn't look haunted to me at all.
He's messing with me.
Ashton, I am not in the mood. What are you doing here?
He chances a glimpse at some point behind me. The parlor? Curious, I follow his gaze, but before I can figure out what has caught his attention, he places his hand on my shoulder and turns me back to him,
I
facing
just
him.
finished working on something, so I dropped by.
I still don't see how his work has anything to do with why he's here. At my confused look, he drops the hand resting on my arm, like he has touched something particularly hot, and casually rubs the back of his neck.
And I said I'll see if I can pick you up. Turns out I can. Free time and all. So here I am. Figured you'd still be busy, and so I roamed around for a while.
Oh, you should have mentioned that sooner. I was about to throw you out.
Throw me? Hey, I was given a pamphlet. I think that makes me a legitimate client.
We have mandatory sign-in sheets for clients, Ash. I didn't see your name on it. And you can't just roam around because it says open house. Normal people actually follow an etiquette here.
Right, okay. I think I'll just go ahead and...
No, wait. I wasn't really going to throw you out. Rose said... Never mind. I was just about to leave anyway.
Wait, what? Now?
Something must have shown in my face, because he pauses and gives me a long hard stare. Sometimes I forget how easy reading people is for Ash, given how he often looks as if everything around him is a chore. I avoid his eyes, hoping he'll drop this subject and won't ask any more questions. The last thing I want is to tell him what happened, especially the part about the letter. In fact, he's the last person on earth I'll ever think about telling it to, if I can help it. Sure, he's a dependable guy, and God knows how many times he has helped me, even without me asking for it. But stuff like ghosts and supernatural? Never believe those, even if he hears it from a friend. Except maybe if it's Becca. On a good day, the most harmless thing he'll do is give you an explanation why those things have no chance of being real. At worst, he's insufferable. He'll poke fun at you at every single chance he'll get. Ashhole. What did I ever do to him? He never does that to Becca or Zach. I can already imagine how things will go down the moment I spill a word or what I saw. Nope, over my dead body. Before he catches his attention, I shoved later but deep.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Let's just go.
Doesn't look like a nothing to me.
We still have Zach's movie tonight, remember?
It's still early. And didn't you say your shift will end around 5 or 6? What? Hey, Isabella, wait up!
A rush of air greets me as soon as the main door opens. My back is sore. I'm gonna stand a bit maybe. Or do something. Oh. Okay, let's try and do this. Not the usual autumn draft, but it's still a welcome change from the stifling atmosphere inside the mansion. Ash's footsteps are quick behind me, the soles of his shoes thumping hard against the polished concrete in awkward cadence as he rushes to catch me. He calls out once, twice. The mansion still looms in the background. Whispers calling me back, shadows beckoning. Help me. Help me. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. I don't look back. We spent the ride off with goosebumps again, man. We spent the ride back to Luxembourg City in a relatively quiet manner, with only the radio's disjoint hum in the background to fill the silence. Occasionally, Ash will reach out to fiddle with it until the signal settles or it's on a respectable volume, but otherwise he doesn't say anything. Neither do I. However, if the fertile glances he's been standing my way are signs, I know there are things he's been itching to ask since we left the mansion. I keep my eyes trained on his passing scenery outside. It is in a small hope that my disinterest will dissuade him.
Here.
All of a sudden he tosses something at me from a small compartment on his side. It hits me cleanly on the chin before I can make a move to catch it. The small package makes a soft landing on my lap instead.
Sorry.
The glare I send him wipes the smirk about to form cleanly off his face. He clears his throat, focusing his eyes on the road again. I swear he did that on purpose. Ignoring him, I flipped a half-forgotten pocket package on my lap.
I won't say no to free food.
Lol.
But why are you giving away cereal bars?
I always have one on my person, and you look like you're about to pass out back there. Have you eaten lunch yet?
I don't even get a chance to deny it because right on cue, my stomach rumbles loudly and an empty, gnawing feeling in my belly becomes noticeable. No surprise there, I did skip breakfast and lunch so I could catch Becca while she was on break. I was hoping to get a small meal after. I guess with everything going on, I just forgot until Ash mentioned it. It's not like the hollow feeling's new to me though. If anything, it's just one of the things I've gotten used to ignoring over the years growing up. A thanks and then I tear open the package and start nibbling on the edge of the bar. Apart from an acknowledgement nod, Ash doesn't say anything after that small exchange. What? How far is my upload? Is it done? It's done. I'm going to close the thing and I'm going to just make sure I have enough space left for the video and stuff. I think my space should be running out soon. I'm going to move this video to my external card first. USB storage, Samsung DeX videos. I'm going to say paste here, and while that's busy copying or moving, I'm going to continue playing. For that I'm thankful. After getting an earful from both Becca and Rose, it's nice to be able to just sit down with someone who's not getting to nag at you.
How'd the open house go?
The usual. We got a bigger crowd than normal because of the property's fame, but really, no different from the typical open house. On second thought, it actually looks like a fancy party more than an open house. I've never felt so underdressed in my life. Weren't you there?
I wasn't really listening.
I should have asked someone to kick you out.
No, you won't.
And what makes you so sure?
One, ever since you got assigned to this property, you've been freaking out about it. Rebecca's words, not mine. She's been complaining to me about how you talked your ears off, by the way. Two, despite